pick a more prominent place for a brush fire to be burning at dusk in the Denver metro area. That is a brush fire atop Green Mountain right now. West Metro firefighters tell us that while this fire is nasty looking and visible from the better part of the Denver metro area, it is not threatening any homes or any other structures at this point. The fire is right on top of the ridge at Green Mountain. It's obviously visible to folks not only in neighborhoods but along 470 as well. The ridge is posing some difficulties in how they get firefighters up to there to fight it in the dark. So right now, West Metro tells us they are formulating a battle plan against this brush fire. Again, no one injured, no homes or structures threatened, just a very nasty looking fire up on the ridge that can be seen by a good number of people across town. We'll keep pictures coming and we'll keep updates coming throughout this half hour. Think of the face of a drug addict. If you're fortunate enough not to personally know someone fighting addiction, perhaps what you pictured was a nameless, faceless person that you've seen on the street or here on TV. The next time you think of the face of a drug addict, I invite you to think of Maria, the woman you are about to meet. She hopes to avoid becoming one of the 500 opioid or heroin overdose deaths in Colorado this year. That's how many we had the last year. Numbers were available. But other numbers are working against Maria. The number of open spots in treatment programs. Here's Ryan Harrer.
When was the last time you used?
Yesterday.
What time?
7 p.m.
Maria Small is staying at her sister's house in Wheat Ridge. The van she lives out of and gets high in all day broke down, and she wanted to get off the street, away from heroin.
Yeah, I hit a low. I have nowhere to live, and I have nothing left to give an addiction but my life. And I don't want to give it my life.
Sunday was day 4 without a needle in her arm. With it came the side effects of detox.
So I was kind of hurting yesterday. I was sweating. Got a lot of cramps and vomiting and diarrhea and all the things that happen.
Maria got up to change the laundry. She found a wet, soapy bag of heroin in a pocket.
Heroin, but I still did it. I put it in a thing and I shot it at my arm.
Recently, Maria has been looking for treatment, calling addiction recovery hotlines that show up on TV.
You know, and I've called 3 or 4 times and nobody's called me back, and I want help. I want my life back. I want to get a job. I feel that I'm ugly. I feel that I look horrible. I'm really thin, and I think I'm a beautiful woman. I'm a very smart woman.
Qualities she can't put to use, she says, because she can't get treatment. She is not alone.
We estimate 20 to 25 million Americans need that treatment today, and we have enough to treat a tenth of them, maybe 20% of them.
Dr. Robert Valak is a professor at the CU Skaggs School of Pharmacy. He works with a large team of experts in the state to combat the opioid epidemic. He's talking about an 80 to 90% treatment gap in our country amidst an unprecedented epidemic.
Every time I stick that needle in my arm, I shake. I shake because I don't know if this is going to be the one that does me in, or is this going to be the one that makes me feel so good that I'm just so happy and I could do anything,
It's an addiction that will likely take several weeks to treat in a rehabilitation center.
I'm the state's largest syringe access provider. I can't get people into treatment today.
Lisa Rayville runs the Harm Reduction Action Center, where users can go exchange needles and access naloxone, an overdose reversing drug that's saved many lives in recent years. That's the patch. The hole, a 2 to 4 week waiting period for inpatient treatment in Denver alone, and lack of access to Suboxone, a drug to treat opioid addiction.
I don't want that for my life. I don't want my family looking over at me being, oh, well, she's just another statistic, or, oh, she just fell into the cracks of heroin, and I don't want my mom to bury me like that. I don't want my kids to remember me like that. I want my kids to know that I gave it all I got to stay sober.
For Next, I'm Ryan Harrow.
The addiction experts Ryan spoke with unsurprisingly said that funding is what's standing in the way of closing that treatment gap, opening more treatment centers, and training more healthcare providers. There is a weariness on the faces of Colorado State troopers at the funeral Friday, a weariness alongside the sadness as they bury their brother, Trooper Cody Donahue. That might be because this is the first time in the 8 decades of the CSP that they've lost 3 troopers on duty in this short a span, 18 months. And the 2 other times that 3 troopers died in less than 2 years' time, in the mid-50s and in the mid-60s, both those times, CSP lost multiple troopers in the same crash. The driver who drifted across I-25 near Castle Rock and hit Trooper Donahue Friday was in court today. He's charged with misdemeanors. That means the prison time is unlikely. President-elect Donald Trump is promising change. And it certainly is a change for an election winner to allege massive election fraud. Trump falsely claimed over the weekend that he would have also won the popular vote if not for millions of people voting illegally. Here's Colorado's Republican Secretary of State Wayne Williams trying to keep a straight face about that.
What is the political wisdom in questioning the outcome of an election you've won?
I'm not sure. It's not always, people don't always clear every tweet with me. And it's one of the interesting things about social media. It allows you to post things really quickly. And sometimes you might think differently if you had more time to think about it.
Wayne Williams, who again is a Republican, says he doesn't think that much actual voter fraud exists. And he says in Colorado, our voting system catches those votes before they're tallied up. Let's talk politics, honestly, with NBC senior political editor Mark Murray, who joins us from Washington, D.C. Mark, thanks for your time.
Thank you for having me.
I am curious how NBC, as a news organization, approaches coverage of issues like when Donald Trump falsely claimed over the weekend that millions of people voted illegally in the election. When you're dealing with a baselessly false claim like that, how do you go about covering it?
You have to actually state what the facts are, and there is no substantiation that there were millions of illegal votes in the 2016 presidential election. There have been reported cases of voter fraud. There's no doubt about that, but that is such a small fraction, and certainly doesn't add up to millions of votes that would have somehow ended up swaying the popular vote.
So, Mark, we both know that there's a greater problem here, and we'll get into that when politics, honestly, continues in just a bit. 1 week after 6 children died in a school bus crash in Tennessee, that investigation has just begun. But we know that the community there will be dealing with the tragedy for decades. Northern Colorado certainly knows that well. Years back, Kevin Vaughn from our 9 Wants to Know team wrote extensively about Colorado's deadliest traffic accident, a collision of a train and a school bus 55 years ago.
It was 6 degrees in the farm field southeast of Greeley, December 14th, 1961. School bus driver Dwayne Harms pulled up to an oddly angled railroad crossing. He never saw the passenger train streaking toward him at 79 miles an hour. In an instant, 20 children were dead. 2 families lost all their kids. One boy's life ended on his 10th birthday. Decades later, I learned that sometimes people are at their best in the worst situations. Joe Brantner found 2 of his kids dead, then loaded badly hurt children into his station wagon and raced them to the hospital, saving their lives. Art Larson's son died, but his testimony that the bus driver stopped at the crossing helped him escape a manslaughter charge. I also learned that something like this never really goes away. For decades, the accident was a source of silent pain for those families. But then, after I started writing about the reverberations of the crash in 2007, one of Joe Brantner's grandsons, Tim Giesick, decided it was time to publicly remember the loss. He raised money for a permanent memorial at the site. It was dedicated later that year in a ceremony attended by dozens of family members of those on the bus and many of the survivors. For Next, I'm Kevin Vaughn.
I would highly recommend that you read Kevin Vaughn's original series, The Crossing. It is an incredible piece of Colorado history and journalism. And I recall reading it first when it hit newsstands, just as I moved to Colorado in 2007. And you know, a lot of us thought that Kevin's 34-part series was lost to the wider world when the Rocky closed and its website went down. But Kevin got permission to repost The Crossing on a new page, and you can find a link on the Next Facebook page. Another live look at the fire that's burning on Green Mountain at this hour. Sky 9 is up. A lot of people can see this from across the metro area. This is a brush fire. No homes are threatened, according to West Metro Fire, which tells us that should any evacuations become necessary, well, then reverse emergency calls would go out, as people are well aware. At this point, they're trying to figure out an action plan to go after this fire, which was originally reported at 3 to 4 acres. It's clearly grown since then and has our attention just because it can be so widely seen from across the metro area. Is the sky blue, or is that just media bias too?
I think as journalists, you still have to be able to explain what the color is of the sky.
The Broncos have a problem, a math problem. We'll ask Mike Kliss to solve it. And Aurora's 8-year-old poet laureate is wearing a beret, because of course she is. Next.
Rain spilled over into Lions. It basically put the high school on an island. The Lions football team did not get to play at home. We had seen their struggles of playing on the road. Lions has this almost majestic football setting for their home games. It really sets in as to why it was so cool for them to get back. The whole experience was really incredible and motivating. Small town football is different, man. I mean, the lights aren't maybe as bright and the bleachers don't hold as many fans, but there's a sense of pride in those communities when that team gets to play at home.
You can feel it in the air. Another Colorado winter is on its way. Time to winterize your kids.
Get out those winter clothes now and see what still fits. Boots, jackets, snow pants.
Put everything together in labeled bins, along with hats, mittens, gloves, to make those crazy mornings run smoother.
And getting your flu shots now could help save you and your kids sick days later.
Get your 9 News forecast on the go. Download the app for your phone and tablet. It's free, so get it today.
After flying around the globe, I'm back home, helping you prepare for your commute on your TV, tablet, and phone, making sure you're cleared for takeoff. Let's share an adventure together.
Thank you, Colorado. This year's 9 Cares Colorado Shares was a huge success.
Together we collected tons of food and thousands in cash to feed Colorado families. Special thanks to all 9 Cares sponsors.
Don't worry, you still have time to donate.
You can pick up a donation box at King Soopers all month long.
Or you can drop off any new or used coat for Coats for Colorado at any dependable cleaners. Let's keep the spirit of giving going all month long.
It is crazy how people want to talk about next wherever I am around town. I think we're starting to get the hang of this and get the viewer feedback. Kyle Clark News at 6 is the most idiotic broadcast, similar to Dumb, Dumber, and Dumbest. It will be easy to get rid of you. We like the viewer feedback. It's spicy. The nice ones aren't as fun. We'll read those later. Tonight you have aided and abetted in the destruction of true journalism. I like that. That's dramatic. That's a good one. Together, we're changing the way that people look at news. That's different. Keep the hate mail coming, though, please. Still watching that fire on Green Mountain. No evacuations, no structures threatened. We'll keep you updated. So we all woke up this morning and the Broncos had still lost. Cairo Santos' field goal had still donked through and still put the Broncos a game back for the playoffs. Our Broncos guy Mike Kliss does the math on what they'll need to get back in the playoff picture.
Don't panic yet. The Broncos still have a good team. They still have a good chance of making the playoffs. Would you rather bet on the Broncos right now or the upstart Miami Dolphins? The Broncos have been here before. Things were looking bleak last year, remember. There was a chance where they were swinging anywhere from not making the playoffs with about 3 weeks to go to the #1 seed. Everything wound up working out for them. Look at it this way with the Broncos. Their quarterback has come on. They now have confidence and trust in their quarterback, Trevor Siemian. That's big going forward. They have to take care of their gimme game this week at Jacksonville. That makes them 8-4. They might have to scratch and claw against Tennessee. They got to pull out a win there. Now they're 9-4. Then come the big 3 final games. New England, Kansas City on Christmas night, and Oakland here. Somehow, some way, they have to win 1 or 2 of those final 3 games, and I think the Broncos will still be in the playoffs, maybe as the #6 seed, but then they can go into Baltimore and win a playoff game in the first round, or Houston in a playoff game in the first round, win a game, get some momentum, see what happens there.
Let's talk politics. Honestly, once more, some straight talk about this election recount and the voter fraud business. Here's the deal. Donald Trump supporters. There's no evidence to support his claim that millions of people voted illegally. Hillary Clinton supporters. Here's the deal. There's no evidence to suggest that a state-by-state recount will change the election result. We got a heaping helping of context today from NBC News senior political editor Mark Murray.
The recount in Florida in that 2000 race between George W. Bush and Al Gore was 537 votes. That was the ultimate margin. So when you're talking in the hundreds of votes, you can maybe sometimes have a race that could end up changing in a recount. But when you're talking about the thousands and tens of thousands, it doesn't look likely at all.
So, Mark, we both know that there's a greater problem here, which is if President-elect Trump makes a claim and Mark Murray says that's not true, and Kyle Clark in Denver says that's not true, then for a certain portion of the population, they're certain it's true.
I think there is a problem where you end up having a sizable number of Donald Trump supporters who will believe anything that he says, even if he ends up claiming the sky is red. And those people were his base and helped fuel him to the election. But I think as journalists, you still have to be able to explain what the color is of the sky, to be able to state the facts. And at the end end of the day, elections are won and lost still in the middle by a lot of undecided voters who are out there who end up getting their information from people like you and me. And you continue to have to state the facts.
Giving you another look at the fire that's burning on Green Mountain. Sky 9 is right over top of this. A bit of new information into us from West Metro firefighters. They tell us that the fire did truly start at the top of the mountain up on the ridge. It has since moved down to the east side. You know, there are homes on the east side of Green Mountain, but at this point, no one has been evacuated. Jefferson County is telling us that if evacuations are necessary, people will get phone calls as they're used to, those reverse emergency notifications. And so no evacuations at this point, no homes or structures in the direct path of this brush fire, which has burned a number of acres on top of Green Mountain and is visible from across the metro area. Right now, she's aiming to be Aurora's Poet Laureate.
I'm still not sure if I say Poet Laureate right.
But we caught this 8-year-old eyeing a higher position at City Hall. And what next viewers have described as, quote, my stupid, dirty face. And it's your chance to change my look for the last day of No Shave November.
The sidelines to the front office get the inside story from the ultimate insider. Broncos Sideline Stories with Jim Sacamano. Saturday nights at 9:30 on Channel 20.
We've got a big problem, and we need your help.
It's called sexual assault, and it has to stop.
We have to stop it. So listen up. If she doesn't consent, or if she can't consent,
It's a crime. It's wrong.
We need all of you to be part of the solution. This is about respect. It's about responsibility.
It's up to all of us to put an end to sexual assault. And that starts with you.
Because one is too many.
Hi, I'm Ben Affleck. The only thing better than playing a hero in the movies is being a hero in real life. Like the 50,000 veterans who returned from Iraq and Afghanistan with devastating injuries. They are true heroes, and they're why I'm proud to support Paralyzed Veterans of America. They make sure veterans with spinal cord injuries get the care and support they need at no cost to them. To learn more, visit pva.org. That's pva.org.
On July 20th, 2012, my family's life changed forever.
My brother was one of 12 lives lost.
We share stories of loss, recovery, and the need for something positive.
The 720 Memorial Foundation is turning this into a garden for our entire community. Join us.
A place for reflection, for finding peace, and for healing.
I'm meteorologist Kathy Sabin. An update now on the Green Mountain fire burning on near C470 in Alameda, west of Lakewood. Winds are driving the flames out of the northwest from about 15 to 20 miles per hour. Gusty just to the west of the Green Mountain area. No signs that the winds will be decreasing in the short term, so firefighters will have the wind to contend with. Now, there is a little push of moisture coming our way. Flurries are possible, but not until after midnight. Our high today at 45 will be the warmest number of the week. Deep elongated trough over the southwest extends into the Midwest. It has opened the door for Arctic air to settle in. So colder air is settling in for the week. Temperatures in the 30s and 40s. For now, all the much needed moisture is in the high country. Winter weather and travel advisories are out for more heavy snow for the mountains, already recording over a foot of snow. Around the area tonight, cloudy skies, gusty winds, and there may be a brief chance that we'll see a few flurries early in the morning. That may help firefighters. temperatures. Mostly cloudy, decreasing wind late tonight, our low at 23. Tomorrow, another chilly, windy day, flurries early, and then the temperature trend below average right into Friday, where our high temperatures right about freezing, and we've got another chance for snow.
Our ongoing search for the smartest kid in Colorado brought us to the Aurora Municipal Center, where an 8-year-old girl was waiting for a very important meeting, but not before she took a few minutes to share her life's work.
This is fun.
This is a big day.
Did you get lots of pictures?
Because Olivia Gonzalez is applying for a big job.
Hey, Dad. Have you got my poetry folder?
She has all of her materials.
It is my most recent poem.
Everything an accomplished poet would need.
This poem is about my emotions.
An accomplished 8-year-old poet.
When beads turn into moonstones, when I feel dark and lonely, my heart feels dark, dark blue. It changes up to be light, light yellow, all because of you.
This second grader already has the experience. She also has the inspiration down.
I usually get my inspiration about my life or a story that someone tells me. I like making the words rhyme and then finding one word that will rhyme with this word that makes sense to my topic.
So it makes sense why she sent this letter to the city of Aurora earlier this year.
I was trying to become poet laureate and someone who's recognized everywhere she goes. Well, I think it's like a head start of becoming president, which I want to do when I get older.
8 years old, and she's already got it all figured out. She has a big meeting.
Olivia.
Hi.
Hi.
With the mayor. A chance to read him a little bit of her work.
Beach ball, round and plump.
And to earn a special title.
Olivia Gonzalez for her eminent contributions as poet laureate for the day.
Thank you.
Heck, maybe even get a jump start on her political career.
How does it feel?
It's cushy.
And off camera, the mayor's cringing. Aurora's still looking for its next poet laureate because of this stupid requirement that you have to be 18 years old. We'll continue to look for the smartest kid in Colorado. Keeping an eye on that fire burning on Green Mountain. Originally came in 3 to 4 acres. It's now burned through 5 to 7 acres of what West Metro firefighters tell us is heavy brush. A few small trees torching here and there. Mostly the challenge on this thing is getting up through the rocky terrain in order to fight it properly. No homes are threatened at this point. No one is evacuated as a result, but everybody from Golden looking east to Wheat Ridge and Arvada looking west and south can see this fire burning atop the mountain. We'll keep an eye on it through the remainder of the program.
TD Jakes here, and I have made it my life's work to help you achieve your best self. Do you want to feel more confident in your daily life? We all do, but a lot of us find it difficult not to compare ourselves to others. My advice, stop obsessing about what is going on with other people and spend more time focusing on the exciting things coming your way. And confidence is sure to follow.
Weekday afternoons at 1 on 9 News.
I'm Marty Caniglio, sharing Colorado's weather stories. 9 News, everywhere.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I never knew. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
That is a pretty good breakfast. You're not even eating.
Not hungry.
No? Why not? What's up?
Kath and I knew that Jenny'd been partying a bit.
Found out she tried heroin.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes? B, console her?
Don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
Or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice, single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Again, a live picture of the fire that is burning atop Green Mountain in Lakewood on the west side of the metro area this evening. Very visible just due to the prominent terrain, and it's that terrain that's making it difficult for firefighters to get up and extinguish this fire that's burning in heavy brush. No homes are threatened. No evacuations have been ordered. Should that change, people living in the area would get a reverse emergency call. Our coverage of the fire will continue on 9news.com as well as on Facebook and Twitter throughout the evening with updates at 9 and 10. Pretty sure that Next Star producer Carrie meant it as a compliment today when she said that my no-shave November beard makes me look like a man. Sadly, any semblance of masculinity will be gone by week's end, but here's the deal. If you help us meet our fundraising goal, money for cancer research, then you can pick what I show up with for next on Thursday. You can go mustache, goatee, mutton chops. It's up for a vote. If you want to contribute $10 to fight cancer and perhaps make me look even dumber on TV, we have a link on the next Facebook page. Your feedback real quickly now. Nice note from Eden Lane, who says, what a compelling story by Ryan Hare on the addiction treatment gap. We will continue our coverage of that and other issues next time.